Shopping for a used Aeron can save you a ton of money on a high-end chair, but how can you ensure that you get the best chair possible when buying used? In this video, I'm going to cover the 7 things that I feel are the most important factors that you must consider when shopping for a used Aeron chair. Looking for used office chairs? BTOD TV is your #1 resource for everything used office chairs. Subscribe today so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Getting your Aeron used is a great way to save a ton of money off the full retail price, but there are some things that you're going to want to look out for when you're shopping for your used Aeron chair, and that is mainly due to the industry itself. Unfortunately, the used office furniture industry does not necessarily have the best reputation for looking out for the best interests of the customer. So I would compare this most closely to the used car market. When you buy a used car, depending on the dealership that you get it from, maybe you're buying it from a smaller dealership that doesn't necessarily care about the customer. It's coming straight from an auction lot. They're not doing an inspection. They're not too worried about selling you a car that has some things that are defective. They're just trying to make a quick buck. On the other hand, you may find a really great dealership, maybe someone that does do a fine inspection. Maybe they give you a good warranty, replaces parts, and gives you a fair price. That's kind of going to be how it is in the office furniture world. So there are going to be a lot of things that you want to look out for to help to ensure that you don't end up with a lemon with your Aeron chair and you get the best performing chair possible. So this video is going to highlight the 7 things that I feel are the most important things that you should look for when shopping for your used Aeron chair. So the first thing that you're going to want to consider is the condition of the chair that you are looking at purchasing. There's going to be several different ways that people label their chairs when they're used. One is just simply used as is. This is going to be the most basic form, usually private sellers, maybe some local used furniture dealers, and it's just like the title says. You're buying the chair used as is in the condition. There's not going to be anything done to the chair. A lot of times it's not even cleaned up or wiped down. It's going to have original parts, and this almost always means that it does not have a warranty because the warranty does not transfer from the original purchaser. So if you buy it from a private seller or a local furniture dealer that isn't adding a service on themselves, then you're not going to have a warranty. Most likely you're not going to have a return policy. So this is going to be one of the more riskier purchases in terms of the condition, because as soon as you leave with the chair, it's yours. You're not going to be able to return it, and you're not going to have any guarantee on it. So you definitely want to perform a thorough inspection, be educated on what the chair should do, and make sure that it meets your expectations before you end up leaving with that chair. The next type of chair condition that we're going to look at is going to be refurbished, and this is going to have the widest scope of possible chair quality. Refurbished basically means to brighten or freshen something up, so this is a very broad definition. Cleaning something up, wiping it down would probably be refurbished, as well as replacing parts and doing a full thorough inspection would also be considered refurbished. So a good example of what we consider to be a refurbished chair would be the refurbished chair that we sell on BTOD.com. We perform a thorough inspection on the chair. We replace parts like the casters, cylinder, arm pads, lumbar pad, and then the foam pad under the seat to help ensure that the chair has a longer lifetime. We also give it a warranty and give you a nice return policy to try out the chair, and that's what we would consider a refurbished model. Some manufacturers will do a lot less to a chair and call it refurbished, so I would highly recommend reaching out to the seller, asking them exactly what they're doing to their chair to consider it refurbished, so that you know exactly what you're getting, so that you can have your expectations right when your chair arrives. Remanufactured is going to be the next condition that we're going to look at, and this is going to be the most rigorous process used to bring a chair back to life, because this is going to basically be restoring a chair to its original, like new, or better than new condition. Now, there isn't a remanufacturing process currently available on the Aeron Classic because you are unable to source the pellicle mesh and the frames from Herman Miller, so you cannot do a full remanufacturing process like we're able to do on our Leap V2 chair. Our Leap V2 remanufactured from BTOD.com is a great example of this process, because we're stripping the chair down to its bare components, revitalizing things like the foam, replacing the fabric, and a lot of other components with aftermarket parts built to OEM specs. So you're basically getting a chair as it came from the factory, similar condition to that. We cannot say the same thing about our Aeron chair. That's why we consider it refurbished, because it does have the original fabric and the original upholstery on the chair. So definitely keep this in mind. If you do see someone advertising an Aeron Classic as remanufactured, that's probably being a bit disingenuous, and that might be a red flag, and I'd probably reach out to that seller and ask them some more detailed questions about what exactly they are doing to their Aeron Classic to be labeling it as remanufactured. Open box is the next label that we're gonna talk about, and this is a category that really has a gray area in the used furniture world because it kind of creates this feeling that you are getting a very lightly used product, because that's typically what the term open box insinuates. It makes you think that you're getting something that's very lightly used, maybe something from someone that was returned after using it for a short period of time, or maybe something that's been broken down from a showroom floor. Regardless, the term open box implies that it was lightly used and you are getting something that's in like new condition. Now, I will say that it is almost impossible for anyone in the world to have an open box Herman Miller Classic chair. These chairs have not been made by the factory for years. So the only way for you to have a legit open box Herman Miller chair is if you've been holding on to it for 4 or 5 years and simply not selling it. So that's probably not gonna be the case. And what we've found from the one open box chair that we ordered was that it was actually a chair from 2004 with aftermarket components, definitely not an open box model under our standards. So be very wary of the term open box, and I would, like the other conditions, reach out to the seller and verify that it is open box. Try to get it in writing, try to get them to confirm that, but just be wary. It's very, very unlikely to find an actual open box Herman Miller Aeron Classic. And the final condition that we're gonna look at is brand new. There are sellers out there that are advertising that they will sell you a brand new Herman Miller Aeron Classic. And in my opinion, this is one of the most surprising things that I have seen in the used office furniture world since we stepped foot into this arena, because this seems like it's just a lie, because I do not know how this is possible. The only way that you can have access to Herman Miller chairs is if you are an authorized dealer, and Herman Miller has not been making the Aeron Classic for years. So there's not a whole lot of reason for sellers that aren't authorized dealers to be capable of selling a brand new Herman Miller Aeron Classic that hasn't been made for years. So if someone is advertising a brand new Herman Miller Aeron chair to you and it's around the $500, $600, $700 range, that should be a huge red flag. And another red flag would be if they also say that they are not an authorized dealer. So we actually placed an order for one of these chairs that was labeled as brand new. So I would definitely subscribe if you're interested in seeing that content. The chair should be here shortly, and we'll do a review on that and let you know what we found out of our brand new Herman Miller Aeron Classic. So the next thing that I feel you should consider is whether or not you should buy private sale or from a used furniture dealer. Now, there's going to be advantages and disadvantages to both. The advantage with going with private sale is typically you are going to be buying from the original owner of the chair, which means that you can get the full history on the chair and understand exactly how it has been used and what application it has been in. Now, this also gives you the best opportunity to find that diamond in the rough, that chair that you can really brag to your friends about. Hey, I got this used Aeron chair in mint condition for 150 bucks. We often see crazy posts on things like Reddit where people find used Leap or used Aeron chairs for under $50 that are in good condition. If you're looking for a deal like that, then you're going to have to look private sale somewhere like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, maybe Let Go, and you might have to stick with it for upwards of a year or two, but eventually you'll probably find a pretty good deal. Now, the downside with this is that you are going to be getting an original chair. Most likely it's going to be pretty old, and it's definitely not going to have a warranty because the warranty is not transferable. Now, if you buy from a furniture dealer, you may not necessarily know the full history on the chair because it could have been bought in auction in bulk. So you don't necessarily know how the chair was being used, but it does give you the opportunity to possibly get some type of a guarantee or some type of a warranty depending on the seller that you are purchasing from. Not all used furniture dealers will give a guarantee. Many will still sell used as is, but there are vendors out there that will give you some some type of an opportunity to try the chair and make sure that you like it before you have to fully commit to it. The next thing that we're going to talk about is going to be return policies and satisfaction guarantees. So 30-day money-back guarantees are very prevalent in the used office furniture world. You can find these types of guarantees on most websites selling used Aeron chairs. Now, we've touched on the fact that if you're going to buy private seller or from a local office furniture dealer, you're probably not going to get a guarantee or return policy, so that's going to be that. But there are going to be a lot of companies online that do advertise these, but you do need to kind of take them with a grain of salt and really look at the fine print, because many of these companies have bold advertisements and big bold claims that they offer 30-day money-back satisfaction guarantees, but when you get into the fine print, you realize that it's probably going to be pretty difficult to make a return at all. And if they do allow you to make a return, you may be paying for things such as return shipping, original outbound shipping, and restocking fees as high as 30%. So in some of these scenarios, the 30-day money-back guarantee may end up costing you as much as 50% or more of the purchase price of your chair just to return it if you end up not liking it. Now, these type of return policies and guarantees are very important when buying online, sight unseen, because almost all of these purchases are going to be made from a photo that is not the exact chair that you are buying. So you are relying on the seller to give you a quality product. Now, they may consider it to be up to good standards and meets their standards to ship out to you, but what if that chair arrives to you and it doesn't meet your standards? Now, you are left holding the bag for a high percentage of the cost of the chair just to send it back and to get into something else. So look for companies that are really going to stand behind you and give you some value and give you an opportunity to at least try the chair without having to be forced to decide, do I want to lose a few $100s just to send this back, or should I keep a chair that I don't really like? The next thing that you must consider is the warranty provided on your used Aeron chair. So we've touched on private sales quite a bit, and we've acknowledged that those sales will not have a warranty, and the only warranty that you're going to get on a used Aeron is if you get it from the company that is selling your chair used. So for instance, if you buy a used Aeron chair from btod.com, it does not come with a warranty from Herman Miller like the factory. The 2-year warranty that we provide on the chair is backed by us as a company. So we will take care of you, not Herman Miller. And that's going to be the case if you buy from any other used furniture dealer. So you really want to make sure that you understand the full details of the warranty, because this is going to be very similar to the return policies and the guarantees, because you'll have a lot of companies that will make big, bold claims that don't necessarily back them up. So an example would be advertising that you have a full 10-year warranty on your used Aeron, but then having the fine print say things like you exclude the mesh upholstery, the chair frame, the cylinder, the casters, the arm pads, whatever else is excluded. You do not want to see a big list of excluded parts in your warranty, because that just simply means that they're not going to be covered. And if they are parts that are prone to break down, then you are going to be left holding the bag trying to find replacement parts on your high-end Aeron chair, which can be tough to do. The other thing that you're going to want to look for is any fees associated with filing a warranty claim. You want to make sure that the seller is not going to nickel and dime you just to get warranty coverage. Many used furniture dealers require that you ship the chair back to them on your dime just to get them to warrant the chair, and then they'll oftentimes charge you a fee to ship it back. So it can be costly if there's fees associated with filing a warranty claim, and oftentimes these fees are not worth it if you got a heavily discounted chair in the first place. The next thing that you want to think about with your warranty is the company that is backing it. Because these chairs are not backed by Herman Miller themselves, you need to make sure that the seller that you are buying from is reputable and will stand behind their warranty. Look for reviews, see how they handle warranty claims, and get familiar with how they will treat you when you try to file your warranty claim. Having a long coverage period is great if the company offering it is reputable and will actually stand behind the warranty. But if they're not, then it's not going to be very valuable. A very good example of this would be Office Designs. They are the only certified pre-owned Herman Miller Aeron chair dealer. They only offer a 1-year warranty on their chairs, but you do get genuine Herman Miller parts, and all of the services are performed by Herman Miller technicians at zero cost to you. So it may only be 1-year warranty, but you're gonna be getting the best service and the best parts available, and that's gonna be a lot more valuable than getting, say, a 10-year warranty from a company that's gonna exclude most of the parts and then not honor their claims. The next thing that you want to consider is whether or not the company that you are looking to purchase from has cancellation fees. Now, cancellation fees are not very common in the new office furniture market, but they do seem pretty prevalent in the used office furniture market because we have seen this practice being done by a lot of the people in this space. And basically what it means is that if you decide to cancel your order at any time, they're gonna charge you a fee, even if the chair hasn't shipped. So we've seen fees ranging from 3 up to 10%, and then sometimes they will charge you the return shipping, the outbound shipping, and restocking fees if you happen to cancel after the chair has shipped out. So be wary of this and just understand that if you're going to do business with companies like this, simply giving them your credit card information ensures that they will be collecting some type of fee from you, even if you don't get a chair at the end. The next thing that I would highly recommend when shopping for your used Aeron chair is looking for reviews on the company that you are considering making your purchase from. And this is simply because, as we've touched on throughout this video, the used furniture world is not necessarily filled with the most upstanding businesses. And we were pretty shocked to find that a lot of these companies have some pretty poor reviews. So I would highly recommend just Googling some companies, using sites like the Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Trustpilot, maybe even Amazon, just to kind of get a gauge and get a feel for what you should expect if you have a situation arise with you. So do they allow returns? If they do allow returns, how have they made this process for their customers? How are they responding to their customers? Are they cordial and courteous, or are they accusatory and blaming the problem on the customer? Down the road, are they servicing warranty claims? If someone has a damaged product or something that goes wrong, is the company willing to help them out, or is the customer left frustrated, leaving negative reviews? So reviews can give a very good picture on how you will be treated by the company and whether or not you will have a good experience. So I would highly, highly recommend doing a search, finding a bunch of reviews on the company you are considering purchasing from before you end up diving into that situation. And the final thing that I feel that you should consider when shopping for a used Aeron chair online is whether or not it has aftermarket components added to the chair. Now, we've touched on this in the past. If you're buying from a private seller, there's a strong likelihood that it is an original chair, but I would still ask some questions, look it over just to verify if anything has been replaced. And if it has, just make note of it so you know what you're dealing with and what you could be looking at down the road. If you're buying from a furniture dealer, there is a likelihood that some components could be replaced. Now, the reason for this is that a lot of these chairs are 15, 20 years old or more. And so many of these components are past the warranty time that Herman Miller would even offer if there was still a valid warranty. So if your chair is 20 years old, we're 8 years past the time that Herman Miller was willing to cover anything on the chair. So it's not unreasonable to expect things like casters, cylinders, foam to start breaking down and needing replacement. If you're buying from a company that replaces these parts, that can really help to increase the longevity of your chair. But you do want to consider the quality of the components that are being used to replace those original components. You really want to look for parts that are built to OEM specs, and you do not want to look for generic parts that may not increase the longevity of the original components that are on the chair in the first place. So be wary of what parts are being used, ask a lot of questions, and be educated on what parts are new, what parts are aftermarket, and if they are aftermarket, understand the quality of those components so you know exactly what you're getting from your refurbished Aeron chair. I know that the focus of this video has been mainly on the negative aspects of buying a used Aeron chair, but I do not want to make you think that I'm trying to dissuade you from buying a used Aeron. We feel strongly that you can find a great deal when buying used, and it is why we started selling refurbished Aerons on BTOD.com. If you're going to buy from a reputable seller and they're doing the right things to the chair, you can really find great value and a huge discount off of a new chair. Buying used also affords you the opportunity to find that rare under $100 or under $200 Aeron that's in mint condition that you can brag to your friends about. But there is also that sketchy side to the business. The used office furniture world is not like the new office furniture world, and there are players in the game that are just trying to make a quick buck, and they're not necessarily looking out for the best interests of you. So we do feel that you really need to wade carefully into this arena, and using these 7 things that we've gone over in this video will give you the best opportunity to end up with that high quality Aeron Classic chair that you want so badly. If you've made it this far in this video and you'd like some more information on Aeron Classics, then I would highly recommend heading to our blog. There's links in the description. We've got a ton of information on used Aeron chairs as well as new Aeron chairs, so I would recommend checking that out. I would also appreciate it if you'd smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you don't miss out on our next Aeron chair video. Thanks a lot for watching.